Although you might create dozens, even hundreds of content pieces, you might be frustrated that not all of them reach their full potential in terms of search engine rankings and traffic. In fact, more often than not, you may find that many content pieces, maybe even most of them, just get lost in the archives and hardly get any organic traffic. Don't worry, this is a very common problem. Such pages can be referred to as stagnated content, but there are ways to fix them or improve their rankings, and that's what I'll quickly show you here today. In this video, I'll go over 7 effective ways to improve SEO rankings, and therefore organic traffic, for this stagnated content with unfulfilled potential. Number 1, fix your meta information. Now, admittedly, the meta information of a web page is not considered a hugely important search engine ranking factor anymore. However, it still plays some role and it shouldn't be neglected. And when you're trying to save a web page from being stagnated, it's essential to get as much help as possible. So be sure you have a thoughtful meta title. Based on your keyword research, you want to carefully select and include high volume, low competition keywords in the meta title. Of course, it should include the primary keyword for which you'd like to rank the web page in the search engine results pages. This meta title can't exceed the 55-character limit, and like any content, there's no need to keyword stuff and try to rig the system. But you can be thoughtful here and make good choices that reflect your content. And the same goes for the meta description, which is up to 155 to 160 characters. The description gives you a lot more space and opportunity to include secondary and LSI, or latent semantic indexing keywords. These aren't your main keywords, which of course you can also include in the description as well, but LSI keywords go one step further. As search engines evolve to better scan and understand your content these days, they not only look for your main keywords, but they also look for related keywords to get a sense of how cohesive your content is overall. For example, let's say I have a website that sells classic muscle cars, and my main keywords are muscle, Mustang, Camaro. Fair enough. But search engines will also look for related secondary keywords like engine, wheels, tires, fast, and so on. Because if they search for those secondary keywords and don't find any, but instead they're finding words like relax, sunny, umbrella, and so on, then they're likely to think, this muscle car website seems to be more about selling vacation packages. This doesn't seem genuine, so they're not going to rank this very well in searches for buying muscle cars. So in your meta description, be sure to have a well-written sentence or two that summarizes your content, and be sure to include relevant secondary keywords. Rewriting this meta title and meta description shouldn't be just about keyword optimization. It is also crucial to make them interesting and engaging, honest, if you will. The meta information of a web page also plays an important role in improving the organic click-through rate, or CTR. Users that see your meta description in the search results are much more likely to click on that link if they are confident that it is what it says it is, and that it's relevant to what they were searching for in the first place. And this higher click-through rate sends positive signals to Google and may help increase search rankings. The second way to improve stagnated content is extremely straightforward, and that's simply to improve the page content. Pretty vague tip, I know, but this is arguably the most vital part of fixing a stagnated web page. If the content didn't work before, then it's probably unlikely to work now, unless you improve it significantly. Now, there are a few ways you can improve the content of a web page. You can update the information, of course, and remove old, outdated content. That should be a no-brainer. You can also add new various headings, subheadings, subtopics, bullet points, numbered lists, and shorter paragraphs to expand the coverage of your content. This can not only reinforce the idea that all of your content is relevant to your topic in the eyes of search engines, but you're also improving the readability and user experience, which can very well lead to more time spent on the page, which search engines love. You can also include quotes from industry experts and influencers to improve the credibility of your content. You can add supporting data from verified studies, from statistics and other sources. You can add images, videos, infographics, and you can put in a little bit of time and take an in-depth look at some of your competition. I'd say at least check out the top 3 results for your targeted keywords, and then analyze what you think they're doing right, and what you think you can do just as well or even better. Obviously, you don't want to rip off their content, but you may want to implement similar ideas and strategies to improve your own content so it doesn't lag behind theirs in the search engine rankings. The third way to improve stagnated content actually has nothing to do with the text of the content itself, and that's to increase your page loading speed. Now, you may have deliciously written content, penned by the literary gods, a feast for the eyes for anyone lucky enough to see it. But it's still not doing squat when it comes to search engine rankings. What gives? Well, that's because the quality of the content is not the only factor that search engines take into account. If your web page takes forever and a day to load, Google's not going to want to rank it at the top of the search engine results pages. That's why the loading speed of your web page is a crucial factor and must be considered. There's a direct correlation between the loading speed of a web page and its rankings in the search engine results. You can use our speed test tool to check out how fast your web page loads. It's free. Ideally, it shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 seconds, but if it does, we'll give you excellent guidance on what to look for to improve it. And you can also use Google's Page Speed Insights to test the loading speed and see how Google perceives your web page. The fourth way to improve stagnated content is another vague bit of advice, but that's to improve the user experience. Again, this all relates to how users interact with your page, how long they stay on it, and so on, all of which has a huge impact on search engine rankings. The user experience on a web page can be measured by certain metrics, such as average time spent on the page, which is a very good indicator of how engaging and informative your content is. Dwell time refers to the time it takes for a user to click on a search result, land on the web page, and then close the page and go back to the search results. A low dwell time sends negative signals to search engines and might lead to a demotion in search rankings. The bounce rate tells you how many people left your website without visiting another page. A lower bounce rate, meaning they stuck around to explore other pages on your site, helps with search engine rankings. Another way to improve stagnated content is to fix the potential keyword cannibalization problem. This is an issue that people don't often consider and can even be a bit surprised to hear it exists, but exist it does. This is when, get this, one of your pages suffers in the search engine rankings not because of competitors, but because other pages of yours are competing against it. This can definitely happen when you have multiple pages on your website targeting the same keywords. Now, you might think you're doing yourself a big favor by overwhelming search engines with tons of relevant content, but this can actually backfire. If you really want page A to rank, but then you have pages B, C, D, and so on also keyword optimized for the same keyword set, then page B might actually rank higher than A. Search engines can't always know your intentions, so instead of having multiple pages on the same topic, you might consider merging them into one highly informative and detailed piece. This will increase the word count of the page you want ranked, and it will also allow you the opportunity to target many more related keywords. Moreover, with proper redirection, you can also combine the backlink power of all those pages, something to keep in mind. The sixth great way to improve SEO for stagnated pages is to acquire backlinks from more domains. Backlinks are an important part of search engine optimization and one of the top 3 search engine ranking factors. So especially if you're in a competitive niche, you may find it very difficult to rank on Google's first page without high-quality backlinks from relevant websites. And depending on the competitiveness of your niche, you may have to acquire backlinks from multiple domains if you want to fix your stagnated web pages. Although there are several methods to acquire backlinks, the broken link strategy often produces the greatest results. For more on that, feel free to check out our articles database, where we have plenty of tactics on solid link building strategies. And the 7th great way to improve SEO rankings for stagnated content is to create internal links. Now, while backlinks from other websites on the internet are very important, of course, they can often be hard to acquire. So in the meantime, as you continue to try and acquire them, don't forget the importance of having a robust internal link setup. These are links that come from other pages on your site. Strategically built internal links can help improve the bounce rate, make it easier for search engine crawlers to find your web page and index it in the SERPs, and even pass SEO Juice from one page to another. When creating internal links to fix a stagnated page, just make sure to build them from relevant pages on your site. In other words, it would be better if the pages are thematically related. Don't just go nuts and add links willy-nilly from one page to another if the content isn't related. Also, make sure to build internal links with a high count of external do-follow backlinks. This will help pass the SEO juice to your target page and may boost its rankings in the search engine results. So, to sum up, content marketers and search engine optimizers spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of resources in creating blog posts and other content pieces. But if those pages never achieve their organic traffic potential, then all that time and effort has been wasted. So if you find that your content is underperforming, before discarding all those pages, it's a good idea to use all these tips and tricks to try to revive those stagnated pages. After all, it usually takes less time and resources to update older content pieces than it does to create new ones.